right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We salute you and all the great work you do. Hope everyone had a very nice weekend. It was a beautiful weather weekend for sure, and it was a great weekend to watch the Pirates and the Braves. 3 beautiful nights there, including a game today in which the Pirates won 4-3 in a walk-off manner. So they take 2 of 3 from the Atlanta Braves after Don Kelly took over for Derek Shelton, who was fired. Love to hear your thoughts on what you saw, any differences. I know it's only 3 games. One thing I did notice, Don Kelly has given guys an extended look, like Matt Gorski, like Alexander Canario, although there are injuries involved in his situation. O'Neal Cruz is out today. It could be for a couple of days with back injury, or back issues at least, something that was nagging him yesterday. So we'll see what happens if he's going to give guys an extended look, because it may be for their best enhancement as a player. I also think a guy like that should be Henry Davis. I know he struggled, but he has so much invested in that guy, and they need him to be what they thought he was going to be when they took him 1-1 in the draft. So hopefully he'll get a chance to look at it as well. 412-575-2600 is the number. I'm Bob Pompeani. I'll be with you until 11 o'clock tonight, so call, or you can hit me up on X at KDPomp is the handle there. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some of these interesting playoff series that have gone on, certainly with the NHL and NBA. The NHL had an interesting game today, actually 2 of them. One was the Jets, and there's something wrong with Connor Hellebuck when he goes on the road in this playoff. You know, he's going to win his 3rd Vezina trophy, and rightfully so. He was outstanding during the regular season for the Jets. But on the road so far this year, he has been terrible, giving up like on an average of 6 goals a game. Just not good at all. He was terrible in St. Louis and now in Dallas for the very first game. Gave up 5 today in a 5-2 loss. And then in the other game in the Eastern Conference, Toronto and Florida. Now, Toronto had a 2-0 series lead by winning both their games on home ice. They go to Florida in that game 3, man. That was a tough one because they had overtime and they had chances in that game. They did not win it. Florida did, and tonight they take game 4 2-0. So that series is now flat even at 2-2, and that's not good news for Toronto. Florida is starting to feel their game a little bit. Bobrovsky has been really good. Joseph Woll's in goal for Toronto. That's after an injury to Anthony Stolar. So, you know, I think the goaltending advantage clearly right now goes to Bobrovsky, even though Woll played pretty well tonight. We'll talk about that. Also, if you were out all week and didn't get a chance to air your opinion about the George Pickens trade, love to hear from you on that one as well. The Steelers sent him to Dallas for a 3rd-round pick. And so now they're looking for a number 2. Now, they may have one on their roster in Roman Wilson, because Roman Wilson was injured all of last year and at the end was healthy but never got into the lineup. So he's a guy they're going to count on. Calvin Austin certainly took steps and strides last year, so he can be someone who can help. But as far as a number 2, it would have been actually, if you take away the problems that George Pickens had on the field, the pouting, the lack of completing plays, whatever else he did, he's a better option as a number 2. And I would have loved, there's a part of me, I don't know about you, but there's a part of me that would have loved to have seen George Pickens and DK Metcalf on the same field in the same offense. That has potential to be something good based on strictly ability. I realize there's more to it than that, and his trade had nothing to do with ability, it had everything to do with his behavioral problems. So Dallas, they're excited about bringing him down there, and most people that I've talked to who are Cowboys fans down there really like this trade. What do you think? Do you think the Steelers should have hung on to Pickens for 1 more year, let him play out, have a big year potentially, maybe not, or do what they did and trade him away? Now, they have 12 draft picks coming up in next year's draft, so that's very big, and all 12 simply cannot play, so you're going to make some moves here, and that's going to be one of the interesting things about this offseason coming up. As far as those of you asking, we have this tweet here from Jerome G. And Jerome says, what's the latest with Aaron Rodgers and how long will we play this game? And well, it is a game. I don't know what's going on other than the belief is he'll be here. He hasn't done anything yet. There's got to be at some point a date for him to be here. And as I said many times, Aaron Rodgers, there's no reason for him not to say that he's not, that he is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just say, I've done it, it's done, we'll sign a deal, boom. You don't have to show up for minicamp or OTAs or any of that stuff. Most people don't expect them to anyway, but I think it at least would put a an end to this topic that doesn't want to go away, because some people are now believing that Aaron Rodgers may have a change of heart. Who knows? I hope that's not the case, because they pretty much expected him to be here and planned accordingly, but we'll see what this means. And I'd like to know sooner rather than later, but I said that a month ago, and it's still going on. So 412-575-2600 is the number to call. Let us know what you think about these topics and more. Again, I'm game talking NBA. If you want to do that, NHL, you name it, I'll talk about it with you right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We are live tonight, as always, on KDKA Plus, and most nights, 93.7 The Fan. Back with your opinions next. All right, welcome back. We continue with our Xfinity mobile tweet of the night from Jason Shetler. He says MLB Pipeline has just updated their top 100 prospects. Bubba Chandler is now the top pitching prospect in all of Major League Baseball, number 2 behind Red Sox outfield prospect Roman Anthony. So you would expect that he's going to get a call up here anytime. This is about the time last year where Paul Skeens made his debut. They called him up from AAA, and I would think Chandler would get that call as well. Although it's kind of late in the proceedings, because I don't know what that does for their team this year. Which brings me to this tweet by Kevin D. He says, Pomp, we like stats, right? Here's one. The Pirates have dug such a deep hole, they'd have to win 2 out of 3 every series from now to the last week of June just to get back to 500. And that's what happens when you start 12-26, as they did. So now they're 14-27. They got some tough games. They go to New York and Philadelphia, not easy places to play. The Mets have invested a lot in their team. Philadelphia is a recent World Series champ. They got a lot of talent there as well, so we'll see how they go. But I would expect Chandler to get the call at some point. The other side of me says, you need bats so much. If you really want to get a good return for bats and offense, you could trade people like this also. When you're that starved of offense as the Pirates have been over the last several years, you got to get some bats in here one way or another. And if you have to give up something that is perceived as a blue chip prospect, do it. I'm not suggesting with him, maybe not. My point is, at some point you got to come up with ways to get more offense. You can't keep living by scoring 2 and 3 runs in the Major League Baseball. You just can't. You need more than that. So we'll see what they do. He's a very talented young man. I'd love to see him up here and with Jared Jones and him and Skeens. And if hope Keller is more consistent, you got a pretty good starting staff right there. But we'll see what they do. 412-575-2600. Let's get to the lines. Joe in Verona is first. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hey, Bob, how you doing? Before I make my comment, Sherrington, he screwed this whole team up. This roster is, AAA, AA for a lot of the players. But what really kind of bothered me this week, Bob, was I wanted to watch the game to see how Kelly managed. And twice he did that analytics. He had a guy with 2 outs in the inning going along smooth and jumps out and changes the pitcher. And today he almost lost the game. That guy was going real good. The pitcher, the left-hander, leave him out there, and he
Ryan
comes out.
Barecki.
Don't like that.
He went 2 innings. That's unusual for any of these guys. Under Derek Shelton, they normally went 1 inning. But yeah, Barecki was playing well. Bottom line is, if you keep going to guys, I understand this point. If you keep going to guys inning by inning or whatever the case may be, sooner or later you're going to hit somebody who's not as good as the previous guy. And while I understand that, their bullpen has been kind of maxed out a lot this year. But today, give Murphy credit. He went down and got a pitch, and I thought Ji-Hwan Bae might have a play on it. So, but generally speaking, yeah, I think they overused the bullpen too much. It's too much 6th inning pitcher, 7th inning pitcher, 8th, 9th, whatever the case may be. If a guy has a limited pitch count, I'm all in favor of keeping him in there as long as the matchups make sense. Let's go to Mike in Newcastle, who joins us right now. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hey, Bob. How you doing tonight?
Good. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, not too much. I want to talk about the Pirates and lineup construction. I think Hayes should actually be leading off because I think that's the best spot for him. He looks the most comfortable. He usually performs well when he's there, and he actually leads the team with the most hits. I know he's not a traditional third baseman with power, but I think he can get on base a lot, and that should help him. And I do agree with you. They need to trade one of their young, controllable starting pitching for a bat. That's the only way I could see them getting a legit bat.
Yeah, Mike, at some point you have to do something like that. You can have all the best pitching in the world, but keep in mind, Skeens will only be here for, 3 more years after this year, and then they're going to make a decision to move him on. If you're trying to win, in the next few years with a talented pitching staff, you also need some talented hitters. And if you have an asset, and certainly Bubba Chandler is an asset, some of these other guys down there are assets as well. They may not be as blue chip, number 2 overall in MLB pipeline, but you can make some moves and use the surplus to help a deficit, because right now offense is a deficit. 412-575-2600. Let's go to Bart in Mount Lebanon. What's up, Bart? How are you?
Hey, Bob. I kind of agree with you completely as far as having 2 good wide receivers that possibly might have to be double covered on virtually all the plays. But get rid of Pickens. They have 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of where they were last year at this time when they're looking for a number 2, and all season long they still were looking for a number 2. And again, I understand why George Pickens was dealt. It's his own problem. He has to grow up. He has acted like an immature kid at many times. And the Steelers probably thought that would eventually go away and that he would mature, but we haven't seen that so far from him. My point on that was, I thought, given year 4 of this, his final year of a contract, it would be good for him to understand, as long as he could, and maybe he won't, and a lot of people believe he'll never understand this, the only way you're going to make the money you want to make is to put up numbers. And if he had looked at it, I thought, rationally, I would have been, all right, you got DK Metcalf over there, they're going to get double covered. I'm not. I should be open a lot. They throw me the ball a lot. I can make plays. I get bigger numbers. I'll make bigger money. And then just keep a good attitude. It's not that hard. But I can't live in his mind, and I don't know what his mind is like and what it operates as. All I know is he's a very talented guy, and I hated to see the talent not live up to, what the potential of that talent could have been. So we'll see how that goes, though. They're going to have to come up with somebody, and there are enough free agents out there, or there could be a trade. We keep hearing Alan Lazard coming to Pittsburgh because he knows Rodgers, and Rodgers likes him. So we'll see. But so far, Rodgers isn't here yet. I'm anxious to find out when that date comes. It's got to be soon, right? You would think. Let's go out to Rob in Butler, who joins us right now. Hello, Rob. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you, Bob?
Okay.
Hey, I heard a rumor that Aaron Rodgers is waiting for the NFL schedule to come out before making the announcement, that he's kind of holding the NFL hostage.
For what reason? Why would he do that?
Well, I guess if he said he was coming to the Steelers, then he felt the NFL would want to highlight him more, send him off to England for a game or have him on Monday Night Football, and he just doesn't want to have to deal with all that. You know what?
You're going to have to deal with it anyway, because the Steelers are one of the teams that are on 5 times a year at least on national primetime games. So whether or not he's here or not, I understand his attraction. And if he's not, and it's Mason Rudolph and Will Howard battling it out, okay, they're not as promotable perhaps, but it's still the Pittsburgh Steelers, and their brand travels well, and they even get numbers when they put them on television. That's just the way that is. So I don't know. I don't know what it is he's waiting for. I really don't. I wish I knew. He says he has personal stuff he's dealing with. Everyone has personal stuff they're dealing with. That doesn't mean you can't make a simple statement. I'm going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be your quarterback 1 year, whatever. Sign it and be done with it. And then if you don't want to show up for any of these other things, I don't think many of us thought he would anyway. So what's the difference? 412-575-2600. Let's go out to Jim in Squirrel Hill joining us right now. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hi, good evening. I just have a quick question. I wonder if you have an opinion about how far the Timberwolves might get.
Oh, in the NBA, yeah. Minnesota looked good last night, although there's no Steph Curry in that series for now. He was out the last game. He didn't play. He's not going to play Monday night either, so he has something that's holding him back physically. But Minnesota better take advantage of that. They're up 2-1 now, and if they go Monday night, at Golden State and win that one to go up 3-1, they have a chance to clinch at home without Steph Curry. So it's a huge game for Golden State. I think they could win. They eliminated the Lakers. They can do it here as well. They got a good inside presence there with Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle, and they complement that with Anthony Edwards outside and some other people who do a good job with that team. So I'm disappointed in Cleveland. Now they're going to go down 3-1 in that series with Indiana, and tonight they were a no-show. They got blown out. They were down by at one point 35 points in that game. So they'll be down 3-1 going back to Cleveland. That will be interesting to see if they can dig out from that one. All right, let's go to Chuck in Uniontown. One more call, then we'll go to break. Hey, Chuck, how are you?
Thanks once again, Bob. Do you have any thoughts on who you'd like to bring in for GM or manager if Kelly is not retained? Would you like to see a named general manager in here if we could get him on the field manager? Would you rather stay in the organization, go outside? Thanks.
Thanks, Chuck. I mean, first of all, that's an interesting question. And I thought if there was going to be a change, it would be kind of a sweeping change with both Ben Cherington and Derek Shelton. Again, only because it's year 6. It's been long enough, and we need to see more evidence that there were going to be some results here. There are none, and that's why that one change was made. Ben Cherington will be instructed to lead this draft coming up in June. And, you know, if you don't like his drafting so far, and we haven't seen a whole bunch of homegrown talent in it, especially from the bat, the offensive side of it, you might want to make a change. But if you do that on a short amount of time, who are you going to find who may be available right now? Normally, at the end of the season, you'd have more candidates available. So I don't know. Maybe that's the reason they kept him around for now. But I think as far as Don Kelly is concerned, if he shows that he could get this team at a 500 pace the rest of the year, that job probably is going to be his. If not, then they'll probably, and if it's a new GM, of course, that changes the whole dynamic of things. So there are a lot of things still very much up in the air with the Pirates and their future managerial team. We're going to take a break, come back with more. It's 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Show. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow night, 10:35. In the meantime, join us for the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. That's tonight, 11:35 on KDKA. We'll see you then after the news at 11. Have a good night.